it's Lauren Ratcliffe, and for those of you that don't know me, I do make videos on here based on my experiences about dealing with autism at a time when it was poorly understood in hopes of educating others about the condition. And I was diagnosed with autism in 1987 when I was 5 years old, and when Asperger's syndrome came into the diagnostics criteria, I was given that diagnosis. Well, this video is titled, "What's Stressful for Autistics is Not Always Stressful for Neurotypicals." So, introduction, me personally, I have never handled emotional stress well at all, but I think maybe some things are getting better now that I'm getting older. I don't have quite as much of it, and I think one of the reasons that I'm dealing better with certain types of emotional stress is just from life lessons, and I don't have quite as many hormone surges as what I did prior to me having a hysterectomy for my endometriosis. Now, I have noticed throughout my life that there have been things that would stress me out, and it doesn't seem to stress neurotypical people out as much. Some examples of the things that stress me out: certain types of vacations, certain social situations, and being forced to do stuff the way everybody else does it. And here are some examples of what I've experienced that I found stressful. Several years ago, I took 2 sewing classes, and 2 years ago, I took a bow making class at the same place and was having trouble with it. And both times I felt myself getting anxious and frustrated when all else was moving on and I didn't feel like I could progress. And when this happened, it reminded me of all my academic struggles when I was younger. And trust me, I struggled not to cry, get frustrated, and do any stems and leave abruptly, which I felt tempted to do more than anything. And instead, I just put my project down and try to redirect myself by talking to everyone in the class. Number 2, when I was a kid, we had a skating rink in our area that opened up at the end of my 4th grade year. And at that time, and for several years after, my dad used to take us skating regularly on the weekends, and I got frustrated when I couldn't skate the way everybody else would, and then I would just quit. And then by the time that I did get out there and tear it up, he would be getting on to me for not doing it the way everybody else did it. So number 3, our vacations. As much as I enjoyed our vacations, when I got old enough to understand the importance of controlling my emotions, I felt immense pressure to be socially appropriate and to not have a meltdown. And the more pressure I felt, the worse I felt, and that in turn led to uncontrollable meltdowns. Number 4, I learned to look forward to medical and dental appointments outside of my checkups with a psychiatrist and counseling meetings, because it was one of the few times that I could get away from school stress just for a few hours. And usually after that, we would always go shopping and out to eat. And I loved to go shopping when I was younger. Number 5, normally I pushed myself to power through stuff despite uncontrollable meltdowns. And by the time that I was a senior in high school, I just felt that I couldn't handle the stress of going to prom or homecoming. For me, it felt like it would just be more stress than what it was worth, because of all the social stress that I had to go through. And the 2 times that I had been to homecoming in high school, it just didn't go well. And I went to prom my junior year, did okay at prom, but it was after that because I just couldn't go to any more high school dances. Number 6, speaking in front of a crowd at our local autism walk and on the local news about my book and my autism experiences didn't bother me. Most people would get very nervous about that. I dealt with it fine because I knew that people would tune in to me. But in a typical social situation, I feel pushed to be socially acceptable and I often get ignored. But when all eyes are on me in situations like me giving a speech and me being on the news, I feel heard and accepted. Number 7, at Christmas, I often feel too much excitement, and then when it actually happens, I used to feel pressure to be thankful when I got a gift, but not to be pushy about things if I got the idea that no one liked any gifts if I got one for anybody. Social pressures, being pushed to do housework and be social over retreating to my room to enjoy my gifts was something that I did experience at Christmas when we had our family gatherings. And in conclusion to this, if something stresses your ASD child that's usually enjoyable for others, just be supportive, non-judgmental, suggest taking a break and going back later for whatever the situation is before you decide to quit. But don't punish them or push them. Suggest an alternative. If your ASD child likes stuff that others dislike, be supportive of it, regardless of what it is. Remember, this could also be the key to unlocking new and effective treatments. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you hit that like, share, and subscribe button because there is a lot more to come. May God bless and have a good day. Bye.